So I own a COMPAQ Portable III, which is exactly what it sounds like. A computer the size of a car battery that thinks it's a briefcase, and it works great except the keyboard wire. It's disintegrated like a vampire in the sun. It just gave up. It saw the 21st century and said, no thank you. And now I have a perfectly functional 1980 supercomputer, but I gotta use this extra keyboard to make it work. Here's what's left of the original keyboard's curly cord, and when I say what's left, I mean it is a nub, a sad little wire nub like the ghost of a telephone cord that died in the 90s. What happened here? You didn't enjoy 40 consecutive years of slow, crunchy dry rot? You got tired of existing? Well, everything changes today. We're cracking open our COMPAQ Portable III like it's a cold case from Unsolved Mysteries, and we're finally removing our stepchild 1990s keyboard, the one that feels like it came with a Gateway cow print box and trauma. We're going to fix the real keyboard, the original keyboard. We're going to make it great again like it's 1987 and shoulder pads are currency. So after removing 400 microscopic screws, we expose the glorious vintage circuitry inside. It's real. It's not a Raspberry Pi pretending to be a computer like some kind of tech catfish. Now to make the grunge-era keyboard talk to the Reagan-era motherboard, I had to use a purple adapter that looks like it belongs in a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper. But before we dive too far into rewiring history, there's just one problem. The original keyboard's curly cord is destroyed. Could one possibly exist for sale online? Well, of course it does, because the internet has everything except boundaries. I buy it after a brief moment of hesitation where I question all my life choices, and then I remember, oh right, I'm insane. And we did it! My order's in! Ah, there goes my money. Goodbye, money! And hello, package! Man, that was the world's fastest delivery. Let's just ignore the DeLorean as we walk by it, and we're going to use our box cutters and open it up, and look at the gloriousness, the loopiness of the curliness. This is delicious. We did it, all right. So let's take our keyboard that has not had a curly cord attached to it, and we have to figure out how to take it apart. And it is a lot trickier. I guess in the 80s, they were more like, let's make this like a puzzle, like Tetris. So you can see there's a screw in there underneath a key. Couldn't this have been easier if the screws were on the bottom? 80s engineers must have looked at the keyboard and said, oh, I'm going to make this difficult for you. Just you watch. So here we are removing a couple more keys and looking for another screw, and the way I'm doing it is I'm kind of squeezing my fingers between the keys to see if I see a screw, and then when I do see one, that means that I can pull the keys off. Here I am, like, I'm lost. Like, I don't see another screw, but I'm sure there is one. Yeah, prying off keys on keyboards just to get a screw in. That's what she said. Oh, I haven't done that in a long time. All right. All right, now is this going quick enough as far as a time lapse? We need to check our schedule here. Let's hit the time lapse button and increase the speed. Okay, I was informed by our video editor, who is me, that we were only going at 500% speed. Now we're going at 1,000% speed, so things are going to be much faster. The finding of the screws is going to be great. And if I remember correctly, the last screw turned out to be in a mystery location underneath the logo in the top right. Let's wait for that moment when I realize there's no more screws, but there's still one screw somewhere, and I can't figure it out. But then I'm like, oh my God, they put it under there. Here's the point where I thought that I had done it, but I still haven't quite got there yet. And I'm just having to admit defeat, looking under there, and look, there it is. That's crazy. Whose idea was this? Yes, I forgot the 80s engineers. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws. Good job. Okay, I'll admit, I was not expecting the button bubble thing to fall down, and, you know, I'm realizing this button bubble thing has survived 40 years, and the curly cord did not. Why is that? Here's the curly cord, and this is where it attaches to the PCB. We're going to hang on to these guys. Let us detach the adapter, and there's where we're going to get our new curly cord to plug in, and let's just make sure it's really going to work. All right, so let's thread it. Let's get it in there. We're going to put it in, and does it work? Of course it does. It's a classic 80s plug. All right, so now here's where I make my first mistake. This was the old cord, okay? I should not be doing this. Stop it. Don't do that, because I did not bother to make sure I figured out where a pin in the plug went and then a wire at the end of the curly cord went. So now there's a little bit of a mystery going on where the plug and the wires that are existing on the PCB, where all that stuff goes. And this is gonna be very clear in just a second. So, okay, now, in the meantime, our brand new curly cord, we're plugging that guy in and being super gentle, and we're going to thread it through and have it come out the other side, out the hole. I'm not exactly able to get that little plug to fit back into there, but that's cool. We're going to be all right here. All right, and now that we're in we're in the weeds now, guys. We're gonna remove this old wire and take a good look at it. It's dry rot, amazing dry rot, like incredible. You touch it and it just falls apart. Fantastic. Let's get these last few zip ties off. We will put them back when we put the new curly cord and attach it. And here's where everything is soldered into the PCB, and I still am kind of like in the fog, not realizing that the colors of the wires, I didn't bother to go figure out where they came out on the other end. But that's okay. There's a solution for everything, right? That's why we bought a voltmeter, so that we could learn like how you can tell what one wire does and where it goes. I can't count the number of times I've tried to figure out which light switch did what, and you had to use a voltmeter so that you would, electrocute yourself on cue. All right, that's the ground wire. We're gonna twist it and make it really pretty. We're gonna keep it there in the top for the time being, and we'll attach another ground wire later. And then we're gonna use our Radio Shack wire trimmer thing and remove all the ends. This is very satisfying, but I'm just cutting to the good parts. And here's the other end of the curly cord. We're going to need to expose those wires. Those will go onto the PCB, and we will solder them in there. Look at that. It's very beautiful. Let's trim off the ends of these guys, too. The satisfying sound of the wire trimmer thingy bop. All right, so I had to do a little research with what each of those little pins do, and I think I got it figured out. Look, there's numbers on the PCB. Maybe those correspond with the pins. I mean, that sounds great, right? Like, do you think that would probably be it? It's not it. It's not it at all. I don't know what those numbers are. There's no, like, schematics for me to look at to figure that out. So here I am with the end of the plug that I cut off, and I'm trying to figure out, all right, so this is like the teeny tiny nub of the green wire that I cut off, and I'm trying to figure out where it goes on the pin side. And, after about 5 minutes of struggling, I do figure it out, and I make a little pretty diagram, I think on a piece of paper that I found under the sink somewhere. I don't know, was I hard up for paper? You're about to see. All right, so that's where the pins are in the new cord. All right, we got this. And here I am with my beautiful diagram. I'm just trying to figure out where the new colors go, and this should be an easy thing, right? I just follow the diagram and map them. And again, these numbers are based on what I saw on the PCB. So at this point, I'm thinking, oh, I got it all figured out. This is great. We've got this thing plugged in. We're looking at it very carefully and gingerly. This is actually on the other side going into the computer. I'm feeling pretty good about myself, but at the time when I decided to wire them together, I'm just going to twist them. We're going to twist them with our fingers. We're not going to, solder them yet because we're not sure. We'll also put electrical tape on the end so the twists don't come apart. And then we're going to apply power. We're going to flip the computer's power on and see what happens. All right, did it work? Do you see anything? Is it happening? Why is it taking so long? Okay, it didn't work. Fail. Okay, now take two. I switched some numbers around. I have good feelings about this. We're going to turn the power on. Oh, yeah, it lit up. That's a good sign, right? I think that if you can get it to light up, then you're like pretty much good to go. We did a little dance. Here it is in slow motion in case you missed it. Look at the lights. They're beautiful. All right. It's like the Northern Lights, except for in my office. Okay, we're going to cross this wrong one off, and I'm going to point out here's my new one that I put in the little corner because there was still space left. All right, now we're breaking out the soldering iron and endangering our fingers for about 10 minutes. And once we solder one together, we're going to put a little bit of the shrink piping on it, the shrink plasticky stuff. And this was before I owned the more industrial hairdryer thing. I'm using like my wife's hairdryer that she was like, hey, I'm going to throw this away, but you can keep it. And I was like, I'm going to take it. I'm going to use it for electronics. And it actually did not work that great at all. So this is sort of nostalgic, seeing the old hairdryer trying to do a job with shrinking the shrink wrap little wire things. But, you know, when you solder the wires together, this is the professional way that people do it. And so usually I was using, I love butt connectors, not just because it's fun to say, but super easy, right? You squeeze both ends of the butt together, and then your wires are touching. It's fantastic. Okay, so it looks like we're at a good point now, and now we're doing like the last one. That is the ground wire, and we're attaching it, and now we're going to put our zip ties back. We got brand new zip ties, and it's going to be fantastic so that they're going to be attached to this PCB for another 40 years until somebody else replaces it. I mean, I have no doubt that it'll dry rot again. Let's clean up our mess that we made, get everything nice and beautiful. This keyboard was a little dirty, and we're trying to figure out how we put everything back together here. I have a pretty good idea what to do. I'm going to put the screws back into their little holes and then very carefully lower this keyboard back down onto the other half. That's my plan, at least, and I think it's going to work. You may see that this is are all the keys taken off? Jeez, this was really late at night. Okay, here we go. Got it? Oh, it's upside down. Okay, I got it. All right, here we go. Is it going to work? It's going to work, I think. It's snapping together. This is fantastic. Okay. So, after a few more high-speed, anxiety-fueled minutes of chasing microscopic screws across the table like I'm defusing a bomb in the 90s action movies, our keyboard's finally reassembled, and now it's got a brand new curly cord, a real one, not a knockoff, not a twist tie from a bread bag, a glorious factory-style curly cord that actually works like it's 1986. And this thing just came off the line between a fax machine and a Laserdisc player. You know, we have to return a few stray keys back to their homes like we're reuniting a litter of puppies. The F8 key has seen things. The number lock, he was living under a couch, but now they're back in place and we're ready. It's time to relive the thrill, the absolute glacial thrill of booting up a COMPAQ Portable III and waiting for MS-DOS to do its little floppy dance. It takes forever. You could grow a beard in this time, but when it finally loads... Great success, ladies and gentlemen. And that concludes this fever dream of a restoration. Thank you for attending my TED Talk about a 40-pound pseudo laptop that sounds like a microwave and runs solitaire at 1 frame per hour. Please like and subscribe, as the youth say. Woot!